Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing a twist on a split-based old-fashioned by incorporating a homemade Chinese 5-spice syrup with other seasonal favorite ingredients that elevate this classic drink into a must-have fall cocktail. Chinese 5-spice is a blend of star anise, cinnamon, clove, fennel seed, and szechuan peppercorn. While typically used in savory dishes, it works wonderfully in sweets, like pumpkin pie. For today's cocktail, I'm going to use Chinese 5-spice to make a delicious rich syrup, and I'll also infuse some whiskey with toasted pecans. The spice syrup and infused bourbon will be paired with an aged rum and a combination of bitters to make the perfect Thanksgiving sipper. I'll start by infusing my whiskey, since that will take the most time. I'm using a half cup of pecans and toasting them in a 350-degree oven for 5 minutes. Once they're nice and toasted, I'm going to remove them from the oven and place into a container. It's good to let these cool for a bit. If the pecans are warm, the resulting infusion will be cloudy. Once cooled, I'm going to cover my pecans with about a half a cup of bourbon. I'm using Woodford Reserve for this cocktail. I think the toffee, spice notes, and overall rich, smooth texture of Woodford Reserve go really well with the toasted pecans. I'm letting this infuse at room temperature for 4 hours, then straining out the pecans. This pecan-infused bourbon tastes so delicious. I'm really excited to try it in this cocktail. Chinese 5-spice is typically used in savory dishes in Chinese cuisine. It also makes a killer pumpkin pie. You can buy this pre-ground, but I'm choosing to make this from whole spices because the ground spices are difficult to strain out. I also like that I can modify the amount of each spice in the blend. The first step is to toast the spices. This helps the spices release more flavor. I'm adding 1½ cinnamon sticks. Mine are already cut in half. 2 teaspoons of Szechuan peppercorn, 2 star anise pod, a half a teaspoon of clove, and 1 teaspoon of fennel seed to a pan over medium heat. I'll toast these for a minute and then break them up just a bit in my mortar and pestle. This will help them infuse better into the syrup. I'll add them back to the pan and then add a 1/4 cup of turbinado sugar and a 1/4 cup of white sugar. Then I'll add a half cup of water. I'll let this sit over the heat until the sugar dissolves. Then I'll let it come to a simmer where I'll let it reduce by 1/3. Then I'll strain out the spices. You'll want to strain the syrup while it's still hot. Otherwise, you will lose a lot of the syrup because it will stick to the spices. Now that all of the make-ahead ingredients are ready, let's make the cocktail. First, I'm going to add a 1/4 ounce of the Chinese 5-spice syrup to my mixing glass, followed by 1 dash of orange bitters. I'm not using an orange twist in this cocktail, which I typically do for old-fashioned, but I think the essence of orange in here will really break up those strong spice flavors. And 2 dashes of black walnut bitters, which are a must-have for fall cocktails. They offer some nuttiness, but also a nice woodsy element. Next, I'm adding 1½ ounces of the pecan-infused bourbon, which smells so delicious, just like pecan pie. And lastly, 1½ ounces of aged rum. I'm using bourbon court here. I like it for its mild funkiness and warming spice notes, without being overly spicy. I'll add the ice and give this a 30-second stir. I'm serving this cocktail over a large ice cube in a rocks glass, and garnishing with a lemon twist studded with a clove to bring a fresh spice aroma over the glass. Both spirits work so beautifully together in this fall-forward old-fashioned cocktail. My only issue is that I want more of the floral notes from the Szechuan peppercorn. If you plan on making the syrup, I'd add another teaspoon of Szechuan peppercorns. Nevertheless, this Chinese 5-spice old-fashioned is excellent. I definitely recommend making this for your Thanksgiving dinner cocktail. Thank you guys all so much for stopping by, and have a happy holiday. Cheers!